Should queer people keep supporting Disney? This is the conversation I'm seeing on social media after this news dropped. A lot of people out there wondering, does Disney still have our back? And I think this is a wake-up call. I've said this in a few videos. You can go back almost a year on my channel and find videos of me talking about this. Disney, and I want to make this very clear, Disney has never been, as a company, a true ally to queer people. They never have been. They've employed people. There are people that work for Disney on different movies, TV shows, things like that, who are allies to queer people. But Disney as a company, as a corporation, have never been a true ally to queer people. It's always been about rainbow and pink capitalism. This is why it's so frustrating when I see channels like Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker and all these other people talking about some weird agenda that Disney has with indoctrinating people. They do not. They are companies. They are trying to make money. This is what I've been saying all along. The people that they employ that work for them, they're the ones who might be true allies, but Disney is not. They like the dollar bills. That's what they care about. So when I saw this news pop up, as disappointing as it is, and the strange statement that they gave that reeks of 1980s, and not in the best way, in the most outrageous way possible, when I saw this, I was not surprised. Was I like bummed out? Yes, because it is another step backwards. I'll explain why in a second. But this is not surprising. What this is censorship from inside the company. Because this is something that was done already. It was completed and they removed it. They bent the knee to the hate mob. That's what they did. Disney pulls transgender storyline from Pixar's Win or Lose streaming service. This show comes out in February. So it was done. It was done. The creative people behind this project did it. It was in there. It was already approved. If you guys remember Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur, very similar situation. Doesn't totally surprise me. Let's read what Disney had to say because this is crazy. This is crazy. All right. Pixar's original animated series, Win or Lose, will no longer include a transgender storyline in later episode. The series follows a co-ed middle school softball team named the Pickles in the week leading up to their championship game. Each of the 8 episodes center on the off-the-field life of a character and their point of view, whether it be a player, a parent, a coach, or an umpire. A spokesperson for Disney confirmed that the story arc was removed and provided the following statement to The Hollywood Reporter. Listen to this. Be very, very attentive to this statement. When it comes to animated content for a younger audience, we recognize that many parents would prefer to discuss certain subjects with their children on their own terms and timeline. So that tells me that all of the other storylines with these characters, all of them, whether it be something about school bullies or dealing with issues with their parents, whatever, those subjects are not too sensitive. But a trans character existing is. So what Disney is telling me with this statement is not only have we rewound all the way back to 1980s now with the way we think about things, but they're telling me that my existence as a gay person, that a trans person existence, that a queer person's existence is something that is so weird and different that we can't even exist in media anymore. That is the message they're sending here. That a trans character existing in media is now simply too controversial. So me walking down the street with my partner holding his hand, that would be something that is maybe too sensitive. Maybe it's too sensitive for the audience and that parents want to discuss that. Do you understand how fucking ridiculous that is? Queer people are not unicorns and Bigfoot and shit like that. We exist in the world with everybody else. So this statement rings extremely tone deaf, extremely hollow, but not surprising to me in the least. Now, as queer people, we have to decide what we want to do in terms of how we move forward with this. I would say, don't go out of your way. If it were me, this is my opinion, don't go out of your way to necessarily support things from Disney that look to be as if they're trying to pull some sort of pink and rainbow capitalism. Don't do that. But if there's a property from Disney, from a creator, that is genuine, that feels like it's coming from a place of honesty, then yeah, certainly support that, because you're supporting that creative person as well. And believe it or not, they're going to benefit from that. Disney is a large corporation. There is no amount of boycotting, and I want to make this very clear. There's no amount of boycotting Disney that's going to hurt them financially from marginalized communities. It's just not. It's going to take a lot more than that. That's just the reality. I know it sucks. It does. So it's going to be more beneficial for us to figure out people that are working for Disney Productions, whether it be on something like, Pixar, Star Wars, or even some of their smaller subsidiaries, the people that are genuine, that will benefit, that will be able to make change. It's much more beneficial to look for that and support that than it is to try and boycott everything Disney does. It's just going to be impossible. Now, you can do that if you want to. I'm not telling you can't. And I totally understand, and I will support you in your boycott of any and everything Disney. I get it. I totally get it. But the thing is, for me personally, I have known from the jump, I have known this from day one of covering this kind of media, that Disney was never a true ally. So this doesn't affect me at all in terms of being shocked or surprised. It does not. It doesn't. I would like to have believed there were more people at the top that gave a shit, but it seems like they're outnumbered because Disney wants to make money, and this incoming administration, which people want to believe isn't having an impact, it's already having an impact. That's exactly why this is happening. They want to make it seem like we are once again second-class citizens. And I want to reiterate that to all the people out there who think like walking down the center is going to make a difference. I'm one of those people. I've reached across lines. I've talked to people on the other side of this who seem rational, who seem like they care, like they give a shit. They exist, but there are far too many of them across that line who are hateful and angry, and they're not being kept in check by the people in that group who actually are rational. So the problem is you have this extremely loud portion of that community that keeps driving the narrative, that keeps driving all the things that they supposedly believe in. And that has Disney worried and concerned, and they're chasing the dollar, as they always do. Again, I have been on there. I have crossed the lines. I've talked to people. I do know that there is a very degree of consideration about all of this, but that doesn't matter because no one's keeping anybody in check in their own communities. They're not calling anybody out. They're not doing that. I've not found anyone who with a large platform, and I want to reiterate that, someone on the right of that center with a large platform who are doing any kind of calling out of bad behavior within their own community. They're not doing it. But I digress. Disney, I want to reiterate this again before I wrap this video up. Disney is not an ally. They never were. They never will be as a company. Disney as a company will always chase the money. That's it. That's what they're going to do. The best we can do is look inside of these companies and find the creators, find the people who are making these projects, who are willing to push it and move beyond Disney's internal censorship of queer people, which is what's happening. This was an already made thing. It was already done deal. It was already put out there in production, and they decided, nope, before we release it, we're going to yank it. This is crazy. This is crazy, but this is where we are. This is why we have to be very, very, very vigilant. We have to continue to be visible. We have to continue to be present. We have to continue to speak out. Yeah, this is wild. This is wild to me.